Hi there, Working Homeschool Moms. This is Charlotte from Charlotte Jones 24/7 and My Little Homeschool. And this is episode number 98 of the Strike a Balance podcast for Working Homeschool Moms. Today's episode is all about career changes, and I welcome a fantastic guest, Kerry Schoemann, who is a certified life coach and the founder of Epic Career Coaching LLC. Kerry has a lot to share about how to make a successful career change. She's got lots of mindset tips as well as practical advice that you can take in order to find a career that's more in alignment with who you are or with what you want for your family and for yourself. But before we get to the episode, I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, or subscribe to the podcast. You could also forward this episode to another working homeschool mom who is thinking about making a career change. Thank you so much and enjoy the episode. Hi there, and welcome to the Strike a Balance podcast for Working Homeschool Moms. This is Charlotte Jones. I'm your host, and I am a podcaster, a speaker, a writer, and a homeschooling coach, specifically for working homeschool moms. I've been homeschooling my neurodivergent twin boys since 2017, and I've been a working homeschool mom since 2017. So I know it can feel really overwhelming to keep all the balls in the air all the time. So each week I chat about tips and strategies for being a happy and thriving working homeschool mom. I cover things like time management, homeschooling, mindset, and lots of other juicy topics like that. I also speak to awesome and inspiring women who manage to juggle homeschooling and work successfully and find out what their secrets are. And I also welcome experts who can help you on your working homeschool mom journey. I have lots of ways to support you, so be sure to check them out in the show notes. You can download my time audit as your first step to managing your time better. I have a Facebook group for working homeschool moms that you can join as well. And be sure to sign up to my newsletter for weekly updates. And if you need additional support, you can join the WHM Collective, which is a supportive community of working homeschool moms where we delve deeper into topics that are going to help you thrive as a working homeschool mom. Or if you need one-to-one support, be sure to book in a session with me. I'm so excited for you to be here, and I know you'll get so much value out of this episode. So let's get started. Working homeschool mom, I know how overwhelming it can be to choose a math curriculum for your homeschool. That's why I'd like to tell you about the online math curriculum we've been using for years, ctcmath.com. As far as math curriculums go, it has loads of great features that solve lots of the math issues we've had, and I know a lot of homeschooling families have. Here are just a few of the many features that we really like. Questions are adaptive, which means the interactive questions change in difficulty depending on the student's ability. The program uses a smart algorithm that tracks the student's progress and delivers questions based on their exact needs. The student doesn't even know this is happening, helping them to build confidence and master math concepts. Concepts are delivered through video tutorials and summaries which are clear, complete, and easy to follow. It's like having your very own teacher. This ensures your children understand something before they're asked to practice it. And then for us parents, CTC Math has extensive reports which are so valuable in monitoring your child's progress and spotting any gaps. And they offer a 12-month money-back guarantee if this curriculum is not for you and your family. CTC will provide a full refund, no questions asked. But I think the most important thing is a whole lot less stress when it's math time for both parents and kids. You get to outsource math with confidence, and your kids get a fantastic tailor-made program that makes learning and mastering math enjoyable and positive. Visit CTC Math today to start your free trial. CTC Math is also offering you, listener, an amazing special. When you go to ctcmath.com/MLH, you can get a half price discount plus a bonus 6 months for free. That's ctcmath.com/MLH. So I have a fantastic guest to introduce to you today. Kerry Schoemann is an ICF Certified Life Coach who balances being an entrepreneur and the founder of Epic Career Coaching LLC with working full-time in a customer service role. She is passionate about providing a holistic approach to coaching for driven individuals who are looking for support to reach their professional as well as personal goals. Her professional philosophy is to bring it all to the table, as what is holding us back in one area of our lives is often what is holding us back in every every other area. So true. She values growth and development and incorporates that into her life daily by reading, listening to educational podcasts, as well as saying yes to life-enriching opportunities as they arrive. Welcome to the podcast, Kerry. It's great to chat to you today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So I've done some coaching with you before, so I'm very excited for my audience to get to know you as well. And the topic we're diving into is career change and getting your mind right, talking about the mindset of going into a career transition, which I know can be very tough. And I think this is a very relevant topic for working homeschool moms who are maybe wanting a more flexible life or who want to start out on their own. So what does it actually mean to you getting your mind right? And what does that entail when considering a career change?
Yeah, so getting your mind right is so important when you're making a career change and really any change in your life at all. And at least for me, there's 4 steps that I like to go through to get my mind right. The first one is starting with possibility and the belief that this is something that you can accomplish. If you start off with self-doubt and insecurity and fear, then everything you do going forward is going to be driven by self-doubt, insecurity, and fear. And ultimately, you're not going to be following through on what you want because you don't believe that this can happen for you. So starting with that belief is really about laying that foundation to build off of.
The WHM Collective is a monthly membership on Patreon that was created with you in mind, working homeschool mom. If you're just starting out on your journey or if you're finding it difficult to find your groove, then the WHM Collective is definitely the membership for you. Each month, we delve into topics that are going to help you thrive as a working homeschool mom, such as homeschooling, schedules, time management, and lots of other juicy topics. I know how busy life is for you, working homeschool mom, and I know how complicated life is too. So that's why this membership is super simple. Each month, there's one live workshop, one ebook, and one session of office hours where you can have your questions answered in real time. In addition, you'll get one free coaching session per membership and an added bonus of having access to all past content, which you can work through in your own time. So if you're feeling like you need some additional support as a working homeschool mom, then I really hope that you will consider joining the WHM Collective because I know that it will help you so much to find clarity and to move forward in your working homeschool mom life.
And the second step is getting really crystal clear on your reason why. So, why is it so important for you to make this change? And I guess more importantly, why is it important to make this change right now in your life? And then, do you like your reason? Are you running away from something? Are you running to something? So, for example, running away would look like, I hate my job. I just need to get out of here. And running towards something is, I want to gain new experiences or have more flexibility in my life. It's something positive that you're trying to work towards. When you are running away from something, it's more about, I just need to get out of my current situation. And so we're not as discerning about the opportunities that we take because we're just so concerned about getting out from where we are right at this moment. And then just really connecting with your reason why, because there will be days when you feel afraid or you feel unmotivated, and it's that reason why that's going to get you through that. So then the next step is about managing your expectations. So how are you envisioning your life with this career change? How are you envisioning yourself? Are you expecting status, confidence, respect? Do you see yourself being a more involved parent because of this change? And then, will this career actually provide this for you? So just important to know what you're getting into and if you're expecting something that this job actually can't provide for you. For example, getting a promotion, is that going to increase your confidence? Maybe a little, maybe temporarily, but ultimately that's something that you want to be working on for yourself so you can be confident no matter what situation that you're in. And so yeah, just being really clear about your expectations. And then the fourth step is handling excuses, because our brains are really, really good at coming up with excuses that sound legitimate. And that is totally normal. It happens to everyone, but just becoming aware that those excuses are there and that they don't have to be anything other than that, just a thought floating around in your head. You don't have to give it any power. You don't have to let it stop you from taking action toward what you want. So, just to recap, the 4 steps for getting your mind right are starting with the belief that it's possible for you, getting crystal clear on your reason why, managing your expectations around it, and then handling the excuses that come up.
So it really sounds like you have to be, I suppose, getting your mind right, but also getting your mind very clear about what you want to do and what you want your life to look like.
Yes, absolutely. Just having that clarity allows you to take actions in a meaningful direction. And instead of feeling like you're scattered and kind of all over the place, it really just allows you to take what you want and kind of move it forward in the direction that you want to be heading.
Absolutely. And I guess, though, like sometimes when you are in a job, you can feel so desperate as well, I think. And that's maybe obviously not a good starting point for a successful career change. How could somebody overcome that kind of feeling of desperation?
I think, still going back to getting your mind right can be helpful, because when you are clear about your reason why you want to be moving, like, yes, maybe you do hate your job, but what don't you like about it and what do you want to be different? And then you can focus on finding something that has these other things. So you're still kind of taking what you don't like, but you're turning it into a positive of like, okay, this is what I do want. Let me search for something like that. I had a situation myself where I was just in a job that was so stressful to me and I wanted to get out of there, and an opportunity came up, and I would have had to go back to school, and it was something that I really was not at all like passionate about or have ever been excited for it, but it was just like, well, at least I'll, if I hate it, I'll be making more money. And that was like a red flag right there of, okay, I'm running away from something. But when I stopped to think about like, why do I want to leave? Then it made more sense of like, well, if I go in this direction, I'm still going to be miserable. So just being really clear on that reason why, I think, can help a lot.
Yes, absolutely. That's such good advice. Because I know I've definitely been in that position where I felt really desperate, and it was, yeah, it was quite difficult to make the change. How can working homeschool moms stay committed to goals when excuses come up? Because I guess when things get difficult, like you said, sometimes you're not motivated. But what are some ways that people can really stay committed to their goals?
So, remembering that feelings are temporary. We all go through those times where we don't feel motivated or we feel afraid, but they're temporary. And the reason why that you're doing this is more important than the discomfort that you're feeling right in that moment, because that reason why that you've really connected to is going to be with you the whole time that you're going through this process. And something that I like to tell myself is that I can feel afraid and still keep going, or I can feel frustrated or overwhelmed or disappointed, or whatever the emotion is, and still keep going. And then something else that is helpful for me is to ask, what will I gain from taking this next step? Even though I might be feeling afraid or unmotivated, what will I learn when I'm done with this? How will I be better on the other side? And just constantly looking towards the future and improving.
I guess it kind of gets easier the more you do it, though, right? I mean, because I think if I'm just thinking of myself kind of stepping outside of my comfort zone or facing something difficult, it does get easier the more I do it.
Yeah, I mean, those feelings are always going to be there. Like, you're always going to have those feelings of being afraid or overwhelmed coming up. But it gets easier because you're recognizing that it's just a feeling and that you can still do things even when you're feeling uncomfortable.
Yes, I love that. Maybe the emotions are still there, but I guess you get better at handling them as well, I guess, or managing them in a more positive way.
Yeah, and as you do it, you'll come up with ways to kind of help get yourself through those emotions because you know yourself better than anyone. So you'll start to recognize the emotion and then you'll be like, okay, this is what I need to do to make sure that I'm still going to stay committed even though I feel this way.
And I guess that's also with the awareness, though, isn't it? I guess being really aware of your emotions. And I would imagine mindfulness and things like that are probably also very effective for overcoming difficult situations like this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
In terms of any career changes that you have made, what insights have you gained when you've moved kind of from one career to another one?
So I realized that I don't need to be afraid of making decisions and making changes because I can handle whatever comes up. You know, I've changed careers multiple times and of course like fear comes up, but again, I don't need to let that stop me from doing things because I know that I've, been in situations before and I've been able to handle them. I'm still here. I'm still moving forward. So I don't need to be afraid to make those decisions and make those changes. And that I can trust myself that I'm not going to allow myself to stay in a situation where I'm just miserable. I'm either going to adjust my attitude, adjust myself, or I'm going to leave. I'm going to find something else. So, it's just developing that trust in yourself and that confidence. And also when feelings come up of being overwhelmed because, there's a lot that goes into changing your career and so it can get very overwhelming at times. But I just realized that when overwhelm was coming up for me, I wanted someone else to have the answers. I wanted them to save me from this. And I realized that no one is going to save me from this. I have to do something. So I focus on what is in my control right now. And I just, forget the rest. Just focus on what is in my control at this moment.
And what are some kind of practical steps that working homeschool moms can take when they do feel overwhelmed like this? Because I think sometimes, obviously, there is the mindset aspect, but sometimes you want to know, okay, like this is a practical thing that you can do. What kind of things work well in your experience when feeling overwhelmed?
Yeah, so I mean, it can look different for everyone, but for me, I would say, leaving the space that I'm in at the moment. So that might be like going for a walk. It could be calling up a friend and just talking it over with them. But if you really just want to like get it out of your mind for a while, some sort of exercise has been helpful for me. Some people practice yoga, meditation, and just, I think probably the biggest thing though has been gratitude and focusing on what can I be grateful for going through this situation, because that is something that brings us back to the present. It brings us back to focusing on the positives instead of focusing on just everything.
Yes, I think that's such fantastic advice. Looking back to when you've changed careers, what do you wish you'd known during that transition period that you didn't at that time?
I wish that I would have known that purpose isn't something that you find externally. So I always thought that I needed a particular job or career to fulfill my purpose and to find meaning in my life. But now I realize that I can create purpose and meaning in anything that I do and in any area of my life. And it doesn't really matter what job I have, like in a way it does just for my own, peace, but I can still express my purpose in many different ways. I don't need to find the perfect job, if that even exists. And I decide what fulfillment looks like to me and then just create it for myself. And the method that I used and still use to create that sense of purpose in my life, I have available as a workbook on the link in my Instagram bio if anyone's interested in that. But yeah, that was something that for a long time I was like, I need to find purpose, and it's got to be the right career, and that was a big focus for me. And I realize now that I can express my purpose in whatever situation I'm in.
I love that, because I think society tells us that we need this perfect job, though, right? That so much is built around what you do, because I guess you spend so much time working. I guess that's probably the reason. And obviously, we're in a capitalist society. But I love the fact that you can find purpose in other ways. But like, in what ways could those be? If you could just give me an example of what that might look like for you.
Purpose to me is how you want to show up in the world. Like, what kind of person do you want to be? And then you are that person in every situation. So, for example, if you want to be an independent person, then you might focus on, what do you need to be independent? Financial stability, or the knowledge of how to take care of your home. And so then you're finding ways to become this independent person, and then you can be independent in every situation that you're in. So I hope that makes sense, but just you're creating the characteristics that you want in order to have this fulfilling life. And when you have these characteristics, you're just expressing them, whether it's in a health related goal or career related or within your relationships. And that way, everything feels a little richer. It feels more meaningful. And you're showing up in the way that you want to in order to impact the world.
I guess it also comes down to alignment, though, isn't it? I know alignment is such a buzzword, but kind of living in a life that's aligned, where you're showing up in the same way in every aspect of your life.
Yeah, it's like this internal integrity where who you want to be is who you are, and you're showing up that way, like you said, it just in your entire life.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Yeah. Do you have any regrets, maybe, for any of the career changes that you made?
So I actually don't regret any of it. And here's why. Regret to me is, in a sense, it's like obsessing about something that happened in the past you're thinking about it in a way that doesn't move you forward. And it brings about more blame and negativity than anything. So I could ask myself, why didn't I start my own business 10 years ago? Like, I'd be in such a different place. What was I thinking? But that doesn't help move me forward. It just keeps me stuck in the past. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't go back in time and change it. And something else to think about is that everything that we do and say makes sense for who we are at that moment, and the knowledge that we have and the resources that we have access to. So thinking about where I was 10 years ago, I was not in a place to start my own business. So it made sense that I didn't. And accepting that that was where I was in my life, it allows me to let go of the past, but take the lessons that I learned with me into the future.
I love that. And that's, like you said, it's taking the negative and turning it into a positive. I love that. That's such a great way of looking at it. So before we end off, is there anything you're working on that you'd like to share? And where's the best place for people to connect with you online?
Sure. So currently, I am working on creating a podcast where I coach people on different topics related to health or relationship or career goals. And then people can find me on Instagram at epic_career coaching.
Okay, awesome. Yes. I will obviously link all of those in the show notes. So thank you so much for sharing such valuable advice today, Kerry. It was really, really fantastic. And it's going to be really helpful for working homeschool moms who are thinking about making a career change. And it was great to talk to you again today.
Yeah, it was great to talk to you too. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Please let me know what your greatest takeaway was. You can reach out to me on Instagram at charlottejones247 or on my website at mylittlehomeschool.com, or you could even drop me an email at hello@mylittlehomeschool.com. I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It will help Spread the news about being a working homeschool mom, and in that way we can build this wonderful supportive community together. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, take care.